Y'all give me a minute. I'm trying to set some things up. Trying to get my setup right. Y'all give me just a moment. Trying to get a couple of things set up. Hold on a second. You been out there playing all day. I bet you smell like a little billy goat, little big head.
Yeah, I'm sweating.
Yo, you go get in that shower. That'll be finished in a minute. All right, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? I apologize for that. I had to make sure this little boy getting himself taken care of. How y'all doing this evening? Oh yeah, y'all know who this is. This your boy Rob Thomas Jr. and this is the real news behind the news. How you doing, Miss Kimberly? Oh yeah, today is still Thursday, March 19th, 2020. And first thing I want to do is send a shout out to one of our subscribers. I ain't gonna call your name, man, but we really appreciate what you did. The support you just showed us. God is good. May He bless you 1,000 times over. You put us at least 1/5 of the way that for what we need to be. And again, I thank God for a bunch of people like you all, man. Real people who are looking for real knowledge, real understanding. I think I got one of the probably the most intelligent group of subscribers on my page, because you know most people, they having a hidden agenda, or most YouTubers have a hidden agenda. Only thing I want to do, man, is educate our people, all God's people, but I want to educate our people in particular. Now, first and foremost, I'll give y'all an education to fight the coronavirus. What's going on, brother Anthony? How you doing? Good evening. Good. I'm glad you. And Anthony, he been following us all ever since our Facebook days. You know what I'm saying? And actually, we're moving more and more away from Facebook, because Facebook is basically nothing but an arm of government propaganda. Social media, as we know it, really is nothing but a psychological operation. It's crazy. We'll get into that on another video. But hey, we're going to talk a little bit about coronavirus, which we've been talking about a lot. We also actually going to talk about martial law. And we actually talk about Tulsi Gabbard. She disappointed me. I knew she had to drop out the race because she was getting no support. The Democratic Party was steadily stacking the deck against her. But she came out today and she endorsed Joe Biden. I guess she had to do what she had to do, but I'm disappointed because she was really the only one in the race who actually stood up against the industrial complexes, the military industrial complex, the corporations who lobby our politicians to get favors, you know, while the rest of us suffer. So that was kind of disappointing to see Tulsi Gabbard drop out the race. Now it's pretty much going to be Joe Biden running against Donald Trump and Democrats. Let's see how that shit works out for you. Donald Trump is going to slaughter Joe Biden in any election. Think about it. Trump is trying to buy the election right now. You know what I'm saying? When he's saying that he's doing this for, he's trying to help pass his economic stimulus, he's literally trying to buy the election. You know what I miss? You ain't missing nothing, Anthony. I just got in here. Miss Kimberly says, is there a curfew in effect, bro? I'm going to tell you what's going on. In San Francisco is on lockdown right now. A couple of areas of New York is literally quarantined off with National Guard, enforcing the curfews. Here in Louisiana, I'm willing to bet by Monday we're going to be in a state of emergency and a serious lockdown here in Louisiana. Because since I talked to you all in the last video I did before the last video, we was at 380 people who was diagnosed with this virus. But since then, y'all, in less than a 4-hour period, we had almost 20 more. We at and probably over 400. This was just in the last few hours. Now again, I'm gonna show y'all this. How many of y'all know what this is? This is one weapon that you can use. I'm not saying that they're secure. Now, don't nobody get me wrong, but this is sage. Sage is a herb that our people, our ancestors used to use to ward off evil spirits. Sage actually can kill a lot of germs. I'm not going to say it's going to kill the COVID-19 virus, but it wards off evil spirits, and it helps protect and purify your home. So if y'all see smoke coming up in the middle of this video, that's what it is, because I got my sage burning, because I try to keep away the evil spirits. But yes, ma'am, that's part of what I want to talk about. As you noticed earlier today, I was talking about how you got a bunch of people who are not taking this virus serious. Do you all realize that this is why the virus is spreading like it is? Because people are not taking it serious. Do you realize that they're throwing out a term to you, and they're brainwashing and putting it into your head, social distancing, where they want everybody to stay at least 6 feet away from each other. This is why they don't want gatherings of 10 people or more. Notice at one point they said, just 3 days ago they were saying, it's best that we not have any gatherings of 250 or more. Then yesterday, Donald Trump comes out and say, we don't want gatherings of 50 or more. Now they're telling you we don't want gatherings of 10 people or more. What is happening is, again, you got a bunch of people that's not taking this virus serious. Now, and they're spreading it. Now, we have to go back to the origins of this virus. And it's a lot of questions surrounding that. Notice that Donald Trump is calling it the Chinese virus right now. And a lot of people saying, oh, that's racist. I'm going to be real. Wasn't nobody saying it was racist when it was the Spanish flu? Wasn't nobody calling the West Nile virus, when people say West Nile, wasn't nobody calling it racist. But Donald Trump and his cohorts are trying to enforce a psychological ploy on you by calling this the Chinese virus. When in reality, a lot of permanent professional professors and medical people in the medical industry are saying that this virus did not start in China. It actually originated here in America. I'm going to be real. A lot of people like to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but those same people questions. And when we start to ask questions about this virus, we have to ask, how did it get unleashed? Now, they're trying to tell you that this virus originated over in Wuhan, China. Basically, they're saying that people over there eating bats and snakes and all this. And you have to understand, first of all, let me back up a little bit. Well, me too, sir. Yes, sir, Anthony. Hey, Anthony, when we get our numbers up and our things start going, I want you to be a moderator for our channel, man, because again, you've been there from day one when we were doing, when we was fighting to shut that landfill down up on the Cooper Road. You've been there, man, from day one. Miss Kimberly say, is martial law here? I'm going to be real. It's a light covered form of martial law. It's a veiled form of martial law. When I say that, they're telling you that we're just trying to quarantine people and we're trying to limit the mobility of people. But when you do that, you have basically conducted martial law, because you're restricting the freedom of movement. They're actually now, pay attention to what Facebook is doing. Anytime you make a post that they don't agree with, that goes against the government narrative about this virus, blog talk radio days, exactly. You were there, so you know that's been about 5-6 years ago. And we're going to get that podcast coming back up, Anthony. But right now, man, with all that's going on, you know how it is. Here in Freeport, the way the politicians are persecuting me for, I guess you say, spoiling all their plans, all that fuckery that they got going on, all this corruption. They don't like me, so they make it hard for me to get jobs. They can use the African American Chamber of Commerce. They can use the Fair Share program to heavily lean on a lot of black contractors that used to help me get these jobs They're telling me now that they really don't want to mess with me. I believe the Lord in the kind of skin. All right, we're going to talk about that in a minute, but what's happening here in Shreveport? Let me digress a little bit. Here in Shreveport, y'all, let me go back and give y'all a little history of who I am and what I do. Because I know we get a lot of followers, new subscribers. I don't like to call people followers because I don't consider myself a leader. I consider myself just somebody who gets out there and fight for what's right. I get out there and fight for the young folk, the kids, and the elderly. Because I'm going to be real, if you between the ages of 25 and 45, I should not have to be telling you this shit of what's going on. But most people are too busy going to church, you know, asking Jesus, who lived way up in the heaven, to drive a car down here on earth by remote control. And then you wonder why people steadily running in the trees. You know what I'm saying? I get persecuted a lot here in Shreveport because of what I do. I stand up against political corruption. Think about it. If I'm not bragging, but if it was not for my efforts, it would have been hard for our recently elected mayor to get in the position he is. We done got city council members, school board members here elected. And once they got in, they fell in line with the corruption. And then I turned around and went hard in the paint. Now they try to say, oh, he two-faced. No, I'm not two-faced. I told y'all before I got y'all elected. As long as you doing right by the people, you got a friend of me. But as soon as I see y'all with that fuckery, I'm coming hard in the paint. And that's keeping me in the bag here in Freeport as far as getting more contracts for my little business because they're trying to shut me out. Basically, they're trying to call me to death to shut me up. But guess what? I'm always be blessed. You know, I'm going to give y'all a little history about me before we go back off into that. I'm going to digress. Here I am, man. I'll be 50 years old this year. You know, coming up through high school, all the way through school, honor roll student, straight A student. One time nominee for the Naval Academy. Had damn near 30-some scholarships offered to me. And I'm a high school senior who was drunk half the time in high school. I chose to go to the Navy. Did a year and a half in the Navy. Got kicked out because when they tried to send me to Iraq in the first Desert Storm, first war of the Persian Gulf, when I was in the Navy, I realized that this is for black people. I'm like, Muhammad, how the hell am I here with you all these innocent folks? Them never called me nigga. So they kicked me out the Navy. They brought me on. Now I got a little bit now. I lived a double life in high school because I'm an honor roll student, a 4.0, at one point 4.0 student. But I'm hanging out in the hood, selling drugs and running with gangbangers. I was living a double life. And it caught up with me because, again, you know, got kicked out the Navy, come home, went to school. I went to school first for nursing. I kicked out of there for being a little too radical. I was pretty much out of the whole campus of just say 1,000 students, one but like 12 of us black folks. And I was in college trying to mobilize them. And nobody understood me. So again, I left college here in Freeport after I graduated. Well, I didn't graduate and get my nursing degree. Went to Nebraska, got a degree there, started back selling drugs. Even though I'm doing good, I got a production company. I'm actually, at that time, I was in a gospel minister preaching. You know, I've been blessed in my whole life. Come back to Shreveport at the age of 30, get shot point blank range in the face. I'm talking about one night, man, I'm in the trap house. Cuz come in, two dudes come in, man. One of them came point blank range, shot me in the face with a 44. I'm not supposed to be here to talk to y'all about that. So people ask me why you talk so loud and why you talk so much. If you got shot in the face like I did, could literally tore half my face off, knocked out all my teeth, all my bone structure. I survived a lot. Did prison time just for 6 years ago, beat them on a life sentence behind marijuana. And I'm here standing today through all that hardship and drama, most of which I brought upon myself by making bad decisions. I'm still here standing. And what I'm doing, bro, I live alone and kind of scared to death. What city do you live in, Miss Williams? Because it's varying from city to city. I'm gonna get off my little personal autobiography, and we're gonna get back to answering your question. Now let me show y'all what's going on. Again, what has happened is our government has waited too long to respond to this. Because you got to realize in the beginning, Donald Trump and all the politicians was telling us that there was nothing to worry about. Oh, you're here in Freeport. Okay, you're afraid or worried. But yeah, we need to be worried here in Shreveport because, again, like I just said, remember when I did this video earlier, what time it was? Probably about 2 something. There was only 380 cases of coronavirus in Louisiana. Since then, they've upgraded by 20 more people. We're literally seeing anywhere from 20 to 25 people a day here in Louisiana contracting this virus. To the point where they just shut all the schools down. They just shut the casino down. Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think if this was a hoax, they would be shutting these casinos down? There's no way in the hell they're going to shut these casinos down, man. Do you realize that if this was just a hoax, they would not shut your major sporting events down? They would not shut your bars and restaurants down, because this is what generates economic wealth. And while y'all here, I notice right now, we only got 7 viewers and 1 like. Hey, I need y'all to hit that like button. That will allow YouTube to relax their algorithm, and it'll bring more people to the channel and to this live video, and we can have more and more of a conversation. But yes, ma'am, Miss Williams, I'm not going to tell you to be worried to the point where you go out there and you sell all your property and buy you a doomsday bunker. But I am telling you that this virus is serious. So much, in fact, that all your major professors, healthcare professionals, just like professionals from Yale, professors at Yale told us, they're looking forward, expecting half the people in the United States to get this virus. Do you realize that there's 300 million people in America? That means 150 million of those of American population is projected to come down with this virus. You're a private citizen? Yes, ma'am. Now, if you got 150 million people projected to get this virus, and they're saying it has a 3% mortality rate, that means you're looking forward to at least 3 million people dying from this virus. Now, why it's so important to you and I, Miss Kimberly, here in Shreveport and all Louisiana, you got to think about it. The only states that got more cases than us is California, New York. I don't have my son's little phone. I could have tried to pull it up. Not Texas, but California, New York. I can't think of. Louisiana is number 5. Guess what? I mean, California, just Los Angeles alone, San Francisco alone, has more people than Louisiana has in the entire state. Louisiana has always ranked in the top 1, 2, 3 for all your most deadly STDs and other diseases like of these types of things. Louisiana is right now number 5. When we got a population, the whole state from Shreveport, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Monroe, Alexander, we barely got, I say we barely got 5 million people throughout the whole entire state of Louisiana. But per capita, meaning per 1,000 people or 100,000 people, we really are leading the nation when it comes to this virus. And because again, just think, in the last 4 hours, you had 20 more confirmed cases. So yes, it is very serious. Now you got a lot of people asking the question, how many of y'all know somebody personally that got the virus? I do. It's not a joke. This is not a joke. And again, we can go back a little bit later on and talk about how we believe it was a biological weapon unleashed upon the population of China by the United States government using our military when they was over there in Wuhan, China, back in October of last year. Well, at the same time, Bill Gates and all them were having a conference. It's called 201. Google that, 201, before Google takes it down. Because again, Google and Facebook are now actively censoring the content that you see on the internet. Now, when I was going earlier, I mentioned the Facebook, and I got track. Facebook now is blocking any post, pretty much, that actually gives out information on the coronavirus. You can make jokes and all this, making jokes, and they're talking about it. But Facebook blocked 3 of my posts just in the last 24 hours in relation to this virus. They're literally on an active campaign to try to control the narrative, which again goes back to notice that Donald Trump is insisting on calling it the Chinese virus. What they're trying to do is psychologically brainwash us to believe that this virus originated in China, when every other country around the world who has seen their death rates, who has seen mass casualties from this virus, are saying that this is a biological weapon. Think about this. What countries on the planet got the most cases of? It's 3 countries right now. They got more cases than anywhere else on the planet by far. And now you got a 4th with the United States. The United States is 4th. But you got to look at China, Iran, and Italy. Believe it or not, all 3 of these countries are beef with the United States. And the United States is trying to destroy these countries economically, destroy the finances of these countries. And most important, we're in war, a cyber war, economic war, and even a Cold War with these countries. When I say Cold War, meaning that we're one step away from a military war. And what they doing to Iran, y'all, is crazy. Iran is already being sanctioned on every level by the United States. Iran right now, believe it or not, yeah, the depopulation. Again, I was going to go into Agenda 21 and explain that also. Because Agenda 21 is a plan for population control. But do you all realize in Iran right now, somebody dying from this disease every 10 minutes? Literally. The Iranian government had to admit to this. Every 10 minutes in Iran, somebody is dying from this disease, this virus. Italy just day before yesterday, had 400 deaths in less than 24 hours. Now, y'all be like saying, well, why Italy? Why would they unleash it on Italy? You got to understand, the Chinese are trying to take over the world's economy. Before this virus, the Chinese had the strongest economy on the planet. But since this virus has brought the Chinese economy to its knees. Now, Italy, unbeknownst to the United States government, signed on for the new Chinese Silk Road. And you have to go back and look at the Chinese Silk Road in history and what it was about. That basically it was a form of trade. But through this new Chinese Silk Road, Italy signed on. Basically, Italy is saying, fuck your dollar, your petrodollar. We going where the money is going to be at, because think about this. Every other country on the planet is trying to make business deals. They trying to make money. The United States is the only one that's going to these countries trying to make war and literally bully these countries and take their shit. That's what it is. The United States is basically nothing more than the ultimate bully. Think about this, y'all. I'm going to show you how sadistic your government is. And if you don't think that they're capable of doing biological warfare, all you got to look at what they did to these black men in Tuskegee. You know what I'm saying? When they literally infected all these black men in the South with syphilis, just for an experiment to see what was going to happen. Remember in 1950, when the United States Navy shot these microbes, these biological elements into the air in San Francisco, shot these biological agents into the fog, and killed all the people in San Francisco. Think about this. The colonizers have always been known to use biological warfare. Look at what Christopher Columbus did to the Indians. How did they conquer the Indians? Through biological warfare. They gave them blankets laced with syphilis. So you would have to be crazy to not even entertain the idea that your government, this most crooked government in the history of mankind, is capable of doing something like this. You have to be crazy not to even think that the United States government is not capable of something like this, when we know by historical fact that if they would experiment with biological weapons on the American people, do you think they give a fuck about China, Iran, Italy? No. They did it, unleashed it as a form of I guess again biological warfare, but the objective was to bring China to its knees. But at the same time, how stupid could you be? Because you got to realize 3/4 of all the material, automobiles, let's say manufactured goods here in America, where all your supply parts come from? China. So now this is why you're seeing your stock market crash, because businesses here in America can't operate normally because they don't even have parts to fix your car, because all that stuff is made in China. And then with Iran, they doing Iran so dirty. They got all these sanctions. They won't even allow Iran to get medicine to treat their people. This is why it's so bad in Iran. And again, in Italy. Italy signed up for the new Chinese Silk Road, and they was making a partnership deal with the Chinese. This is why you see Italy suffering like they're suffering. This is a biological weapon, y'all. Don't let them fool you, because they're going to come out and try to say, well, scientists say that this is a natural occurrence. Bullshit. Scientists will say whatever their sponsors, whatever the people who sponsor their research tell them they want to hear. They're going to try to come up with some way with biased research to prove a point. Guess what? Anybody can prove a point. All you gotta do is just look at it from your point of view and don't listen to nothing else. So yes, this virus is deadly serious. Now we're gonna talk about population control. I'm gonna be real. I can't say I don't think that this is a part of Agenda 21, and under Agenda 21, that means they're trying to take the world's population from 7 billion down to less than 150 million. Bill Gates himself said that we need to take the population down to at least 150 million. We can do this through vaccinations and through other forms of health. I guess you could say healthcare type issues, vaccinations, abortions, you know what I'm saying, and stuff of that nature. Bill Gates himself is a eugenicist. Remember how I told y'all you got these eugenicists saying that the world has too many people? We need to decrease the population by 600 million people. And I always say, well, if that's the case, why don't you motherfuckers kill yourself and start out by decreasing the population by 1? Why does everybody else have to die? It's all about the resources, y'all. It's all about gaining the natural resources of other countries. Because we in the United States, we're no longer a manufacturing giant. We're no longer a manufacturing powerhouse. All the manufacturing is done in China. Go through your house right now and look at all your electronics and everything, even your cars. Where is this shit made at? In China. You see what I'm saying? So you got to break China down in order for you to keep control of the world's currency. Man, it's deep, man. I'm going to do another video on this tomorrow, explaining to you all how it was World War II that changed the direction of the planet. Because in World War II, after World War, but in order for us to even get into World War II to help Europe, they created what was called the Bretton Woods Agreement. And under that agreement, the United States said, yeah, we'll get into this war, but after this war, we have to have the world's reserve currency. Meaning that everything that goes on in the world has to be predicated and based upon the United States dollar. But it was basically done through the petrodollar. And we'll explain that. But let me show you something else about how sadistic the United States government is. This is a fact that pretty much don't nobody in America know, but if you do the research, you'll understand. The United States is going hard in the paint to keep countries like Iran, North Korea, Yemen, and other Middle Eastern countries from getting nuclear weapons. Let me show y'all something. Do y'all realize that in 1944, the end of World War II, the Japanese were surrendering. They had already offered formal articles of surrender to the United States and to the Allies. They was tired. They was getting beat. Do you all realize the United States dropped that bomb on them folks just because they could? They sent the message to the rest of the world. Yes, we have nuclear weapons and we will use them. Do you all realize that they don't want nobody else to get nuclear weapons, but the United States government is the only motherfucking government in the history of mankind that was sadistic enough to use that weapon when they really didn't have to. The Japanese were surrendering when the United States dropped that bomb on them, just to teach the world a lesson and to bully the rest of the world. These are not conspiracy theories. These are facts that you can easily research. You know, it's crazy. So if y'all got any questions, man, y'all join in. If not, I'm gonna end this video because again, I still gotta make a couple more things happening again. Miss, I forget. I have to look. Miss, thanks, Ken. I ain't gonna call your name out, but I thank you for what you done. You know, you been a blessing to her. But we're gonna keep rolling a little bit. I guess y'all keep joining in, man. But keep hitting that like button, man, so we can get more and more people in. Maybe other people might have questions. But I feed off you all questions. You know what I'm saying? You all questions help me to go because really, I do these videos. I don't have no intention on doing no more than 5-6 minutes. Just drop a few facts. But as more and more you all ask questions, the more and more I can go deeper into these subjects. But the main points that we want to reiterate is don't let nobody tell you this shit is a hoax. It's not a hoax, people. It is not a hoax. Come on now. Do you think they will cancel, 3/4 of the public gatherings in America right now if this was a hoax? If it is, like I said earlier, this would have to be one of the most elaborate hoaxes ever in human history because that means you would have to have China, Iran, and Italy. Three places that has seen, between those three countries alone, you had almost 96% of your deaths from this virus. Do you think they would agree to this and say it's a hoax? No. China and Iran and Russia are telling you right now, the official narrative that's coming out of the United States is bullshit. Believe it or not, it's starting to look like that the original case of this virus started in the United States and was taken to China and then Iran. Iranian officials are saying that they received a large shipment of Make America Great Again hats, different types of hats. And they're coming to find out that these hats was a ground zero for the contagion spreading in Iran. You see what I'm saying? The Iranians are saying that the United States has initiated biological warfare on their country by shipping products that was deliberately contaminated with this virus. Do that sound crazy? It don't sound crazy because, again, think about it. We said earlier, that's how Christopher Columbus basically conquered the Western Hemisphere because they gave the native warfare has been happening. But here in America, I'm going to be real, you got to be crazy in the head, man, to just look at Fox, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, Bloomberg, and not look at nothing else what's going on around the world because we know our media is just as much as a propaganda puppet as the Chinese media. Actually, our media is more propaganda than it is facts. Your media here in America, their job is not to really tell you what's really going on, but their job is to give you the narrative, the government narrative of what they want you to think is actually going on. Notice again, Trump is calling this the Chinese virus. He's doing that for a reason. He's doing that because he's trying to take the heat off of America because around the rest of the world, if you look at what your Russian newspapers are saying, what all these other newspapers are saying, they're saying this shit did not start in China by people eating bats. Come on, I can show you an article right now where you got motherfuckers here in America eating other human beings, eating rats, eating dogs and cats. This virus, first of all, let me show you a little bit. You have to understand, this virus, notice when it first came out, they say this novel coronavirus. Coronaviruses have been around for years. Saddam Hussein, before he was murdered, was saying that the United States was trying to unleash a coronavirus on his country. SARS is a coronavirus. The swine flu is a coronavirus. The avian flu or the bird flu is a coronavirus. H1N1 is a coronavirus. Notice they call this the novel coronavirus, meaning that it's distinctively different from all those other viruses because mostly those viruses are contained and limited to animals and can't spread from animals to human beings. This is why they're calling it now COVID-19. You understand? You got to realize Again, we told y'all in previous videos, y'all go back and look at them, how in October of last year, the United States was over in Wuhan, China, where they're saying ground zero was, practicing in the world military games. This is when the virus was unleashed. And it's no coincidence that it was unleashed while the Americans were there in China. Excuse me. So yes, this virus is not a joke. It's not a joke, y'all. It's not a hoax. It is nothing to play with. It is spreading as rapidly as it is here in America, because we have the freedom to travel state to state. Unlike a lot of those other states that the travel can be easily clamped down, it ain't nothing for me to have this virus. Go to Dallas, cough on 20 people. Drive to Houston, cough on 20 people. Leave from there, go to Phoenix, Arizona, cough on 20 people. Go to Los Angeles, cough on 20 people. And I could just take a countrywide tour, just coughing on 20 people. Do you realize that I could infect almost 300,000 people by myself? Simply by coughing on 20 people that's going to... I could get off the airplane, and I could be on the airplane and cough and spread this virus. And if there's 100 people on that airplane, all of them going to 100 different destinations, 100 different cities. What you think going to happen if they contract the virus from me on that airplane? It's going to spread. That's what causes a pandemic. You see what I'm saying? So we have to take this virus serious. Because like I said, Ms. Williams, yes, here in Louisiana, we definitely have to take it serious. I think Louisiana, by this time next week, will be under... I'm not going to say martial law, but a martial law type quarantine. Here in Freeport, I'm willing to say, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but by this time next week, here in Freeport, you're not going to be able to come outside after 8 o'clock. Only time you're going to be able to come outside is to go to work, and then you're going to have to come back home. Think about it. What you going to do outside right now? They're not ready to close all your bars. You can't go to the casinos. You know what I'm saying? Your kids can't go to school. See, have you ever, hey, Ms. Williams, you been driving around the city lately and seen all these National Guardsmen? They just called, I think it was 100,000 more National Guards throughout America. They just called up the National Guard, and Donald Trump is talking about federalizing. So you see these National Guards. Now they're telling us that they're just setting up tents and they're practicing drills. Nah. You don't set up tents all around the city to practice for drills unless you are practicing for something specifically. Now, again, I'm not trying to cause panic. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, try to sensationalize it, but this shit is real. We're literally seeing the National Guard being mobilized here in Shreveport. Think about it. Just 8 days ago, shit, we was over here laughing, talking about them folks overseas dying from it. Now it's right here in Shreveport. And 8 people now have died throughout the state of Louisiana. And again, Louisiana, per capita, has the highest infection rate in the nation. So yeah, we got it bad in Louisiana. Why is it that Louisiana suck ass at everything? We lead the nation in everything that's negative. Teenage pregnancies, VD, high school dropouts, the prison population. We lead the nation negative. I mean, in everything negative. Louisiana ain't never led the nation in nothing good. I'm for real. Think about it. Am I lying, Ms. Williams? You live here. You know how it is. VD. Then you wonder why they call it Ratchet City. Every other city around the country stole that term, but that term was actually coined right here in Louisiana. My boy Mandigo. I ain't gonna say free Mandigo, you know, but free Mandigo. Mandigo started that. What about the people in Florida on the beach? Stupidity. Now you gotta realize those are younger people. Now you know already automatically young people feel invincible. They feel like can't nothing harm them. But this is where the danger comes in. This virus affects older people and people with compromised immune systems. Now all these people, these youngsters, these partying college students are out there on the beach partying. Half of them gonna contract this virus. They might not get as sick. They might just get a sniffle or a cough or just have a little congestion. But when they go back to where they're from, now they're going to spread that virus to other people. So yeah, if I was the governor of Florida, and really you got to hold the governor of Florida accountable because he has the power to shut those beaches down. You see what I'm saying? But Florida is dependent on the tourist industry. He's trying to wait for the next 2 weeks to pass so Florida can make as much money as they can. But think about this. Even Disney World is shut the fuck down in Florida. Everything else is shut down in Florida except the beaches. And this is what's going to cause a second wave of the spread when those kids go back from, when they leave from Florida and go back to New Jersey, to Rhode Island, to fucking North Dakota, to Oklahoma, to Utah, Idaho. This is when you're going to see the second wave of this virus surge because you got these youngsters who think they're invincible, who might be carrying the virus because they're saying most likely these youngsters will carry this virus and they might not even know they're sick. And then they come back and they spread it to the elderly. That's what we really need to be focused on, the elderly. Our elderly people are really the ones who are suffering the most. Those are the ones who die. Although they have now seeing it turn up in younger people, and younger people are starting to suffer. So either way it go, man, it's very serious. You know. Now I'm gonna be real. All my Christians and Muslims, all my people that believe in scriptures. Now it's the time for y'all to call on Jesus and tell him he need to come on back from heaven, man, and stop this virus. I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of nobody's religion, but I mean, I'm gonna be real. That religion stuff is not gonna do nobody no good. Cause first of all, foremost, why would I want to serve your God when your God is literally putting plagues on? Let me ask y'all a question. If God was the God of religion, because I do believe in God now. Don't get this wrong. My version of God is totally different. But my God is so loving that he would not put plagues up on the earth so he could destroy the wicked and at the same time the righteous are suffering. Couldn't he just go and kill everybody that he didn't like by himself? Couldn't he just kill all the evil people in their sleep? Why do all these other innocent people gotta die? Because he's mad. Now let me go back, just go back to the Christian community again. I don't want to offend anybody, but let me just keep this shit real. Do you all realize the God of your Bible was the most evil and bloodthirsty entity in history? Everybody that reads the Bible got to understand, he always wanted, every time he get mad, somebody and something got to die. Think about this. In the Old Testament, when he told Saul, go down there and kill everything that got breath in his body, from the babies on down to the calves, kill all the chickens. You know what I'm saying? God was evil, man. Think about this. He was so sadistic that he flooded the whole earth because there were probably about 100 people out of 30,000 that he didn't like, and he killed everybody except Noah. Think about this. He was so evil and so sadistic, he killed his own son when he could have just forgiven man. Why did Jesus have to die on a cross in such a horrible way? And the Bible says God sit back and took pleasure in watching his son suffer. Come on, man. What kind of God is that, man, that would allow innocent babies over in Africa to starve to death? What kind of God would allow our government to go over there and bomb whole countries and kill millions of innocent people just for some oil? Now, I don't want to serve a God like that. I don't want to serve a God who will allow a virus like this to be unleashed and innocent people, his own believers. Most of the people that are dying are probably Christians. He's killing his own people. So you know he really don't give a fuck about me because I don't give a fuck about that religious bullshit that they be talking. I mean, and I'm not trying to put nobody's religion down. I'm just speaking from my point of view. Your God is not, he's not a good guy. Somebody always got to die. Blood always had to be shed just for him to feel happy. And what we're seeing right now is a mass, I guess you could say a mass murder, a purge upon the earth. Y'all remember in the Avengers, the Endgame, when Thanos said, in order for the universe first get balance, 3 out of every 4 people gotta die. They putting these messages out there for you. Even your Bible tells you in the last days, if you choose to believe in the Bible. Now, I believe in all scriptures, whether it be Hindu, Muslim, Jew, Christian. I do believe in prophecies. But I do believe these prophecies predated your Bible or any other religious text by tens of thousands of years. But, you know, I lost my train of thought. But, yeah, 1/3, in the Bible, I'm finna say, let me show you how Revelation says. Revelation basically tells us in the last days, 1/4 of mankind was going to die by war. 1/4 of mankind was going to die by disease. And 1/4 of mankind was going to die by starvation. Can't y'all see that happening now? Think about it. You got the war. Look at all the illegal wars that our government is sponsoring overseas. Do y'all realize our government is literally at war, indirectly or directly, in over 180 countries on the planet right now? Do you all realize just in Iraq alone, they done killed over 3 million people in the last 20 years? Do you all realize, again, they'll unleashed this biological weapon, and right now you done had almost 10,000 people in just the last 2 months to die? Do you realize that there's a plague of locusts? They ain't talking about this on the news, but you still got that plague of locusts over there eating up crops by the hundreds of metric tons a day. Do you realize they got a plague of locusts over there that has spread from Africa and now heading toward the Middle East? This plague, these locusts are eating more food in one day than it takes 25,000 people to eat in one day. Yeah. And then you gotta look at that's your disease. Yeah, what's up with that? Hold on, let me see. Let me see. And what about the people in Florida and the beach? Yeah, what's up with that? Yeah, that's what's going to happen right there. The governor of Florida should have took action. You see what I'm saying? From Jump Street, and literally, if he was going to enforce martial law in his state, he should have enforced it on them beaches, because those kids are going to go and spread that virus even farther, and it's crazy. But anyway, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I really appreciate y'all comment. Since I ain't got nothing to do in the morning, I'll come right back in the morning. And you all continue to leave your comments though on here, so that as I read them over the night, I can have a better show prepared. Cause see, here at the Real News Behind News, a lot of times it seems like I might be rambling on, but we don't have a script. I figure if I come up there with something scripted, then it's gonna be I'm trying to convince you all of certain points. This is why I ask you all to make your comments, so we can let this show flow, and it can be natural. So yeah, y'all join us in the morning. Again, we asking, you know, whatever y'all can do to help us out financially. There is a goal that really I have to have done by 9 o'clock in the morning before this one utility company open up, or we ain't gonna have no lights up in here. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, God is good. We've had to pay the rent, and once all this stuff here happened, I made sure my son got food. You know what I'm saying? And I made sure we got shelter. But it's hard. Because again, you go back, you gotta look at the political environment that I'm in right here. They hate me here, y'all, because I stand up and speak truth against power. And it's affecting my livelihood. And at the same time, y'all pray for us, because they got a tornado warning out, and the weather coming from Dallas right now is looking pretty bad. But yeah, and again, I thank the 2 people who came through this week that follow us here on the Real News Behind News YouTube, and blessed us. And one of them blessed us today, but we still got almost $100 to go. And if y'all, you know, if nothing else, man, if 10 of y'all, man, you know what I'm saying, can give us $10, man, before midnight or whatever, man, it will surely be appreciated. But I'm not finna even go there, because I'm not finna beg. If God puts it in your heart, I know He'll do it. He just did it earlier. And again, ma'am, I thank you, and you know who you is. I don't like to call people's name out, you know, unless you all want the credit. I won't get it, you know, because I won't put it out there, because I know people try to keep their anonymity. But I thank you, ma'am, for what you done, and you put us 1/5 of the way of what we need to be. So again, hey y'all, I'm finna end this up. Go make sure my little man got dinner, get his shower and all that. But again, I might do another video later on tonight, but I'll upload it. It won't be live. But be looking for me to come again live. Just say we're gonna say 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, which would be 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. tomorrow on the 20th. So hey, I hope y'all have a wonderful night, man. Wonderful night. Y'all be safe. Protect yourself. Instead of going out buying toilet tissue, go out and buy apples, oranges, other fruits with a lot of vitamin C. Fruits that's gonna help you. Fruits and vegetables that's gonna help your immune system. You know what I'm saying? Because panic buying is not gonna get us anywhere. Because if the virus is in your house, you can have all the fucking toilet tissue, water, soap, and hand sanitizer you want. If that virus gets inside your nose, ain't none of that shit. Only thing you gonna need that toilet paper for is to wipe your nose and wipe your ass from the diarrhea. But that's not gonna save you. So let somebody else get some of that toilet paper, man. Hey, y'all have a wonderful night, man. Y'all be blessed.